Family, it's Anu. You're tuned to the State of the City here live on Soul Classics 1590 WFBR. I'm your host, Brother Muhammad. Let me thank all of you at the top of the hour, the top of the show, and the top of the flow for having us locked in and clocked in on those raggedy radios. Please do yourselves a favor, turn them up nice and loud to get you a big fat Monday, late morning, early afternoon crowd on this Monday, March the 31st, 2014. And then go one step further. Call your family, call your friends, call your kit and kin. Call those that have your complexion, those that have your divine connection, and those that are working to bring about some universal corrections. And please go one step further. Call the co-workers, the slow workers, and even more, those that are guaranteed to be no workers, not because it's opening day, because this is the opening way in terms of the State of the City about to come your way. In just a minute, we're going to get right in it. So let me start the show off as I always do. First and foremost, by reminding you that we're now streaming live on the World Wide Web, so you can join us at www.1590wfbr.com. And for those that would like to join us on our social network media page, you can do so by going to our Twitter page, which is the #1 State of the City, or you can send me the Facebook request to be my Facebook guest for the next hour until we're through at Darren, D-A-R-E-N, State of the City. Last name is Muhammad, M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D. Spell it right, get it right, and you'll have us locked in your site. And last but not least, those that want to join us on TuneIn, you can go to TuneIn to WFBR 1590. Just zoom in, and you'll be soon in listening to the show in the flow. And if you want to close the gap and cut right through the gap and join us on our app, you can go to www.Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and you can get in where you fit in and fit in where you get in. And speaking of getting in, let me start the show off as I always do by dedicating this show to my brother and friend, Brother Eric Easton, and to all of those who made it through the weekend in the city and this state, in this country, and on the planet. And to all of those not going to opening day at Camden Yards in Baltimore City. And to all of those not caught up in March Madness in terms of on the court, but keeping their eyes open, keeping their ears open, and a watchman to be vigilant of what is going on in this dispensation of time. We thank you as well. And let me get one or two announcements out of the way, and then I got a guest joining me on the line. Tomorrow, as received from my sister, Delegate Jill P. Carter, the Honorable Delegate Jill P. Carter, and others in Annapolis that are hosting this HB 1301, House Bill 1301, Child Support Custody Fairness Bill hearing taking place tomorrow at the JPR, tomorrow at 1 p.m. So again, there's an opportunity in terms of this very important bill for children, for fathers and families that will be heard in the Senate Judiciary Proceedings Committee. So again, this bill will be taking place tomorrow, the hearing at 1 p.m. And so we got to press Senator Brian Frost, the chair of JPR, who is trying to kill the bill. For those of you that are supporting Brian Frost, who wants to be your next Attorney General in the state of Maryland, we got to make him do right around the issue of families, around the issues of fathers and mothers and custody, regarding the issue of children, because when you talk about domestic violence, oftentimes the violence is around the issues of custody, and it is around the issues of families and fathers being able to be full and complete fathers to their children, not just again, fathers in terms of ATM machines, but complete in terms of being able to have custody, joint custody of their children, being able to have visitation with their children. So again, that's tomorrow that this hearing will be taking place in Annapolis. So please make sure you call Senator Brian Frost at 410-841-3000, and that's for Senator Brian Frost's office, as well as Delegate Kathleen Dumas, Vice Chair of the House Judiciary Committee, who is a staunch opponent of the bill. So make sure you give her a call as well at 410-841-3000 and ask, of course, for, again, Delegate Dumas, Kathleen Dumas, or Dumas, office, as well as Senator Brian Frosch. But if you can make it and attend the hearing tomorrow at 1 o'clock, they will be taking written testimony as well as verbal testimony that you can definitely testify around this issue. So again, if you want more information, that's tomorrow, House Bill 1301, that really should not wait. Also, you can call State Senator Lisa Gladden of the 41st Legislative District on this most important bill, House Bill 1301, as I said before, seeking to bring fairness to the issue of child support system based on, again, not the premise of parental rights and also the rights that parents should be able to accompany their child in terms of support obligations. And clearly, our current system is flawed, that it mandates child support obligations but denies parental rights of the obligors, meaning the fathers, as well as sometimes the mothers. So this is very dehumanizing to the fathers, and it promotes dysfunctional families and a fatherless culture. So at a time there are those talking about violence, in particular domestic violence. Oftentimes, unfortunately, it is around the issue of child support and custody of our children. So we have to be able to march into this month of April in terms of, and this as we go forward, to make fathers complete and families complete. Last but not least, before I go to my guests, don't forget the Winkler Investor Group, which held the workshop on this past Saturday on real estate. Well, coming up on April the 26th will be their all-day boot camp. We'll be giving you more information on this issue, again, presented by Brother Asar Winkler, one of the young warriors and soldiers and ministers under Dr. Ray Hagan, who's going to be joining us this week or next week on the State of the City. So, again, give Brother Asar a call at 443-333-2970. Again, the number is 443-333-2970, again, to be a part of the all-day boot camp as it relates to learning how to invest in real estate without cash, credit, qualifying loans, or even a job. But we'll talk about that again as we were joined this past Saturday briefly by Mr. Lou Evans, who, of course, is the owner and proprietor of On Demand Labor Baltimore, so that we can talk more about jobs, because what better health care to have than a job? What better affordable care to have than a job? So we'll talk about that. But with now, let me go to the lines, as I'm honored to have joining me once again on the State of the City, a brother really who is no stranger to those of us who are in the Nation of Islam, to those of us here in the city of Baltimore who has followed his growth and his development. He is the editor of the baddest, boldest, oldest, feared, and cheered newspaper. I speak now of what normally or used to be Muhammad Speaks, but has grown to the Final Call newspaper. So please join me as we welcome back to the State of the City, introduce to some, reintroduce to others, the editor of the Final Call newspaper, Brother Richard Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Are you there?
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Darren. I certainly am here, brother. And if I wasn't, I'm here after listening to you, that's for sure. How you doing?
I'm fine, by Allah's grace, brother. How are you, and how's the family?
Man, brother, I'm fine. The family's fine, and we continue to try to do the work in line with the time and what must be done. And really, I'm always honored to be, on your show or, whatever you're doing. So anytime you want to have me, if I can do it, I'm there.
Yes, sir. Honor and the privilege, man, is all mine. And my duty and responsibility in terms of the instrument of truth that the Final Call represents and has represented, that we have to get to our people and this dispensation of time when so much is happening on local levels, state levels, national levels, international levels. Then this is the time that many of the prophets prayed to be alive and to see. And so we're honored that we have, of course, the voice and the truth in terms of the Final Call, but God's man on the scene today, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I can't go any further without asking, how is the minister and how's the family there in Chicago, brother?
The minister's great. If you go to finalcall.com, and if you pick up the paper this week, he actually spoke to students at Kennedy King College here on Friday. Was part of a really great panel. So the minister's doing well, and continuing just to do this amazing work that he's devoted his life to. Yes, sir. And he continues to inspire us to really try to do better in our efforts to follow him, yes, and sir, to be like him. But he's doing well.
All right. Praise be to Allah. Well, let's talk about it before we get into it, man. I made an announcement talking about this hearing that's taking place tomorrow in Annapolis around the issue of support, around the issue of custody. And I know the final call has been covering these kind of stories as we talk about and just come off of celebrating Black Marriage Day this past Saturday. Talk about the importance, I think, of this type of bill and these types of hearings that should be taking place to make our families whole and complete around the issue of support and hearings and fathers' rights as well.
Well, first of all, brother, I need to get with you to see if we can have somebody actually write something for us about that hearing. And if not, I promise you we will do a follow-up, whether I assign somebody or write a column myself. I think that one of the things that we have found and one of the things that the proponents of revising some of these laws is that very often it's not dead beat dads, it's literally dead broke dad.
Yes, sir.
So it's fathers who either coming out of a divorce are financially sapped or who are not in that greater financial position in the first place.
Right.
And as opposed to the system operating in a way where it tries to make sure that enough is done to support the children and at the same time give the parents some kind of foundation.
That's right.
Because the stronger the foundation of the father and the mother, ultimately that's what's in the best interest of the children.
Yes.
If you destroy the father's financial foundation,
yes,
what future does he have for his children and being able to provide for them? But not only that, what are you looking at in terms of relationships between that man and his children if he feels like he cannot get any justice, he cannot get anyone to uphold his right to parent? Right. The only thing that matters is when anybody hits the button on the daddy ATM machine.
Right.
All that the system is worried about is money coming out of that machine. So I think we, first of all, as parents, and we certainly want every black man has an obligation to support his children and to sacrifice for his children.
Yes, sir.
So we're not saying that at all.
Right.
So whether we're with the mother or not doesn't matter. Right. These are our children.
That's right.
We got to sacrifice to support our children, and it shouldn't take a Caucasian in any type of arena to tell us we have to support our children. We should do that based on just the fact that we are men truly, and we're going to support our children.
That's right.
The question is, in a system that really has not operated well for us, it seems like no matter where we enter,
right,
criminal justice, civil justice, domestic law, we don't seem to be able to get a good, fair decision. So I think, one, mothers and fathers who have children together,
right,
we have to really realize it's better for us if we can work it out ourselves.
That's right. Yes,
it's better for us if we can work it out ourselves and we can be honest and above board and stay with the commitments. As we say, word is bond and bond is life, and I will give my life before my word shall fail. Right. Because ultimately, you're going to have to work it out anyway.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Ultimately.
That's right.
You're going to have to work it out anyway. So you're going to go to court where you're spending money.
Right.
Or if the man is locked up for non-payment of child support, now what do you have?
That's right. And they're still charging him support even while he's in jail. Right?
So,
yes, sir.
So now, how does that work?
That's right. Yeah.
Except that somebody is now profiting off of a man's inability to meet an obligation that really may not be fair. And again,
that's right,
we want every black man, period,
right,
must support his children.
That's right.
But there has to be a way. Excuse me. There has to be a way. Excuse me. There has to be a way, a better way to do this. And if this bill is doing that, excuse me, if the bill is doing that, then it's something that we really need to look at.
Yes, sir. Well, we commend, I think, God bless you, Delegate Carter, who introduced House Bill 1301, and I think more of this has to happen, not just in Maryland, but nationally, because this is one of the things that keeps brothers in the box, when we look at what is happening around the country right now. We have to have almost like a black man's lobby, you know what I mean, in every city and every state, brother, to make these laws fair and just, and to help to make the black man and the black family whole, because it begins there. And once you destroy the man, you essentially are destroying the family. So Just want to thank you for giving your insight on that, and we'll hope to work to get an article to you, or if not, be able to get you an interview with Delegate Carter, who introduced this most important bill. But that hearing is tomorrow. Speaking of the final call, let's talk about what's in the latest edition, front page of the final call, as we've just finished talking about the black man. This issue deals, of course, front page with our sisters. So let's talk about that if you could, brother.
You know, Brother Darren, this is, again, probably one of the most important issues we've done this year and over the last year. We know that the president introduced this initiative, My Brother's Keeper, a few weeks ago. And when we looked at that and we into some conversations from some sisters that we really respect,
yes,
they were asking a question of what about young black women and girls.
Mm-hmm.
It was not in opposition to what's needed for young men, because these are women that have sons, they have nephews, they have husbands, so they certainly understand the need for black males to be taken care of and fully developed and protected. However, they said,
right,
we cannot ignore or be oblivious to the suffering of black girls.
Yes,
black girls are more likely to be suspended from school, more likely than white females, and more likely than Asian males and white males and Latino males.
Yes, sir.
Black girls and black women are more likely to be arrested, more likely to be abused by police, more likely to suffer from domestic violence and rape and all of these various issues that arise. So we wanted to do two things. We wanted to draw attention to the plight of black women, and we wanted to highlight black women that are doing work with young women in the community. So if you read the article at finalcall.com, or if you pick up a copy of the Final Call, the print edition, which we encourage you to do, you will be able to read about people like Erica Kane, who at 19 had to serve a 1-year charge for a weapons for a weapons violation at 19.
That's right.
She's out of Cleveland. She's now doing some things with young women and girls to try to get them to see that there are other ways to live and that they do not have to end up the way that she ended up. We have people like Carla Morrison, who's the founder and executive director of Sisters of Today and Tomorrow, which mentors girls in Atlanta and in New Haven, Connecticut. We've got Sister Lisa Muhammad from the Nation of Islam, who works with youth here. And, of course, we have the MGT, which is the Women of the Nation, who have a Saturday class that's exclusively for women and the development of women.
That's right.
You know, because, brother, we look at, for example, Rakia Boyd. This is a sister from Chicago who was shot by a police officer, unarmed.
Unarmed, that's right.
Alicia Thomas, who was on the West Coast, who was arrested and basically died after she was allegedly kicked and beaten by an officer.
That's right.
We have Renisha McBride out of Detroit, who had a car accident, who stopped for help and was shot in the face by someone who wielded a shotgun. We have Miriam Carey. This was the woman who was having some mental problems, and she drove up toward the White House and drove to the Capitol. Then she was shot to death after her car had stopped, and I believe she was out of the car.
Yes, sir.
We have Marissa Alexander.
That's right.
This is the sister, of course, who fired a warning shot because she said her abusive husband was coming after her. She's facing 60 years in jail. She was convicted.
Right.
And serving 20 years.
Yes.
She's now been, that verdict has been thrown out. She'll be retried this summer.
Yes.
She could get 60 years. She was not allowed to claim Stand Your Ground.
Yes, sir.
We have Ayanna Jones, who was 7 years old. There was a police raid on her home. She was sleeping on a couch with her grandmother.
That's right.
She ended up dead. 7 years old, and the police were the apartment that they raided was not the apartment where the man they allegedly was after even lived in.
Right. Yes, sir.
Then finally we have Adia Pendleton, who performed at the inauguration for the president, but who died right here in Chicago in a crossfire as young black men were firing weapons.
Yes, sir.
So this is only part of, or some of, the challenges that our girls and women face.
That's right. Yes, sir. So, again, family, just tuned in, having a conversation with the editor of the Final Call newspaper, Brother Richard Muhammad. Let's talk about some of the other articles that appear in the Final Call, brother, where brothers and sisters can go to. Of course, there's always your editorial that's given by the editor of the Final Call, and of course, always, the centerpiece from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So let's talk about that quickly before we wrap up.
Well, thank you. Let's go first of all to the center, and we again, speaking of girls, the article is titled "Hail Mary, Full of Grace."
Yes, sir.
The work of exalting women all over the earth. So I really encourage, in particular, our sisters and our brothers to go and read what the minister writes about the value of women, the value of righteous, intelligent, upright women, and their impact on the world. So certainly his role, his life's work, and his words show that in Islam there is no women walking 6 paces behind the men, but it's the believing men and women together is what true Islam is all about.
That's right.
My editorial dealt with several instances and several studies that show literally what we already know, that age doesn't matter when it comes to the treatment of black children by law enforcement.
That's right.
And in one of the instances, there was a study that showed our children are perceived as older by law enforcement, which they then use to justify handling them. So your 10-year-old son, in the eyes of that officer, he's 13. Your 16-year-old son, in the eyes of that officer, he's 19, so he's an adult. And so as a result of that, what the study pointed out was officers who had a dehumanized view of black children, black boys in particular, were more willing to use force. Not only that, some of the other things that we found, there was some research then there was the Justice Department,
Yes, sir.
that talked about while black children only represent about 18% of children in preschools in the schools.
That's right.
They're almost half of the preschoolers who are suspended.
That's right.
So they're putting our babies out of school before they get into school.
Yes, sir.
And we already know. Schoolhouse to jailhouse pipeline.
Yes,
so
sir.
despite what the Justice Department has said, it isn't over, it hasn't ended, and it's still having an impact.
That's right.
So if we are not watching what's happening with our children, if we are more concerned with Nene Leakes than our baby in our house, if we know more about Nene Leakes and her past and her present and her future than we know about our babies and their teachers and their curriculums and their schedules, we are in trouble. So those are some of the pieces that we've got this week.
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate you giving us the time, and we really hope that the readers find something valuable in the product, but you really can't know what's in it unless you buy it. So I'm asking you again, please pick it up and let us know what you think. And wherever we can improve, we're more than happy to.
That's right. And, of course, it's now available online. Is that correct?
Absolutely. If you go to finalcall.com, you can get the digital version. So you can sign up like today. And inshallah, you should have the newspaper in your iPad, in your phone, in your email tomorrow.
Yes, sir. And, of course, cannot forget, brothers, we wrap up, man, the 3-year economic savings program started and launched by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Where can brothers and sisters send their donations to support this effort?
Absolutely. You can sign up at economicblueprint.org, or you can make your checks payable and mail them if you're old school, which is okay. Yes, sir. Muhammad's Economic Blueprint, care of Seaway Bank and Trust. Attention, Sherlyn, Sherlyn Russell, and that's P.O. Box 19522. That's Chicago 60619.
Yes, sir. Now, you got programs. You're going to be in Baltimore, man. Hopefully, we can get you in studio on Thursday if you're in town. But you have a program coming up next week you're going to be participating in. It's in Wilmington, Delaware. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about that.
This is a conference on education.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give a little bit of a keynote. It's going to run from 2 p.m. till about 6. There's going to be a roundtable discussion. We're going to talk about solutions. There's going to be some entertainment. It's going to really be great. It's at the Doubletree at 700 North King Street in Wilmington. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can get it. And I'll also tweet it out. But that's on Saturday, 2 p.m.
Yes, sir.
On Friday, inshallah, I'll be speaking to some students at Randallstown high school, just having a little bit of a discussion.
Yes, sir.
And if you want me in Baltimore, brother, just let me know what time, and we'll make every effort to get there and to be in studio. And anybody else is interested in having me do whatever you think I can do to help, in particular in the hometown,
yes, sir.
All you got to do is reach out to me, editor@finalcall.com, or through Facebook or Twitter.
All right, brother. You know you can't go without giving that shout out to Brother Richard, man. I know he out there listening, man.
My main man, Brother Richard Peel, in the hometown and his whole family. But, Brother Richard, I'm coming your way, man, so I should be looking at you soon.
All right. And now tell them listeners and them brothers and sisters out there, man, as C. Miles would say, some of them are perpetrators, but tell them of the importance of supporting the State of the City radio show, brother.
We, in this time of a critical need for information and independent voices, we cannot have independent voices unless we support independent voices.
That's right.
So Nike and the iPhone and all of these other products that we buy,
that's right,
Cavassier and whatever else you drinking,
yes, sir,
whatever you rolling with, lottery tickets and all of that.
Come on, brother.
They exist because we patronize them, but we get very little return on our investment.
Right.
When you invest in State of the City, you invest in a brother who's involved with a mission and a cause and who's committed.
Yes, sir.
And your support of him only helps him do what he would do anyway.
That's
but
right.
the more we support him, the better he can do it.
That's
the
right.
better we can do it. The more we can coalesce, and the more information we can get out, so that we reach those who are in darkness and bring them in the light. And the more that we bring in the light,
yes,
the better we progress as a community, but the more safer you are individually.
Yes, sir. All right, brother, go in peace, and may Allah continue to bless you with all that you do, and we look forward to receiving you, man, on Thursday if you're in the city. Be honored to have you in studio. We'll talk after the show, all right?
Thank you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Again, family, just tuning in, just concluded our conversation with Brother Richard Muhammad, the editor of the baddest, boldest newspaper on the planet, The Final Call. So again, we're going to go to this quick musical break, come back in, open up the lines, take your thoughts, questions, comments, and then, of course, I haven't forgotten today is Monday. I promise you that I was going to go into this article in the Baltimore Brew as we talk about your city council person representing the 11th Councilmatic District down there, William Cole, the Cinderella man. So we'll be back in a minute, get back in it, and in the meantime, in between time, we're back together again on this Monday. No more boring radio, no more monotonous radio, and this is the Orioles free zone and the Ravens free zone, and March Madness, NCAA on the court. I know some of you still got a hangover and got the blues from your team, although you say it's your team. You can't even get in the stadium. You can't even park in the handicap lot, and not to mention down there at the Camden Yards, where recent reports said the Orioles only give back about $50,000 to the city of Baltimore. $50,000. That's not counting whatever they get off the concessions, where they paying them below minimum wages, them workers down there at Aramark. And it's not counting how much they make off their memorabilia. It's not counting the money that they take home on their TV rights. But I'm talking about some corporate detente and being willing to give back to the citizens in the city. Black, brown, red, yellow, and white. So listen to this message. We'll be back with more of the State of the City. Then we'll come back, open up the lines, get your thoughts, questions, comments as we look at this article in the Baltimore Brew, which kind of was scratching the surface on William Cole, but it's all right because we can go a little deeper and steeper on this info. But in the meantime, in between time, back together again. Listen to this message. We'll be back with more of the State of the City. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to the State of the City. That's right. We're back together again here on this Monday, March the 31st, 2014. And let me thank my brother Richard Muhammad, who joined me in the first half of the State of the City. Now, we're going to open up the lines. If you want to get in on the conversation, 410-761-1592. But before I do, I'm not through. So let me go ahead and make it do what it do, as we've been promising you on this article that appears at the Baltimore Brew. Mark Reuter, I believe is his name. He may be more like a rudder, because oftentimes he just kind of scratching the surface. He's snorkeling while we go deep scuba diving on this info that we share with you regarding the politicians or the politricians that's down there in City Hall. And particularly, we speak now of this one in particular, of Bill Cole, who again represents the 11th district, which of course is a majority black district. And it encompasses what used to be the 7th congressional district. But your congressman who sold you out, Congressman Elijah Cummings, sold out the legacy of the Mitchells, sold out the legacy of former Congressman Perrin Mitchell, sold out the legacy of course, the 101st Mitchell family member in terms of what he represented. But nevertheless, none of them never prepared, of course, someone that would replace Kiefer, the cheaper Mitchell, as you often hear me say, who's watered down the family talent pool and the gene pool, regarding, again, not endorsing any of the other candidates that was running, but allowing William Cole to step up, take, again, the 11th Councilmatic District. And so let's get into this here. Inside City Hall, Cole brings home the bucks. An impressive political war chest has been amassed by the councilman from the 11th district. Now, notice they haven't mentioned about him investing and owning a 1% share in the Grand Prix with the crackhead Steve Weiner from Martha's Vineyard, who bought it here, and they set up a dummy shell company, the Baltimore Racing Development Corporation, and how the city and the state gave them money that would probably should have went uptown. Again, community development block grant money, we'll say alleged, money that should have been stimulus money to go to shovel-ready jobs and greener, cleaner jobs in the city. But no. That money was misappropriated. That money was embezzled. That money was stolen. Let me make it clear to you. And nobody has been on a straight trail of jail for that money, as well as that $1.8 billion and the biotech wreck that never appeared in East Baltimore. Now they're coming for you in West Baltimore with that Maryland State Center project, which is supposed to be a public-private partnership and is no more than a pimp-prostitute relationship. But let me get back into this article. It says, William Cole told us developer Michael Beatty's campaign contribution amounted to less than 0.5% of the funds he raised last year, and just 0.2 of his overall political war chest. We were intrigued, this article says. So it goes on and says, how much is this councilman who represents Bolton Hill, Mount Vernon, the Inner Harbor, and a good swath of South Baltimore worth in terms of campaign dollars? Well, damn, if you just take the areas he represented. And of course, mind you, that of course your governor helped to redistrict a lot of this area so that they could strategically place William Cole in that area. And then of course put Nick Mosby or Trick Mosby or Dick Mosby or Nick Osme into the area that they wanted to put him in. See how they operate, man? But you say ain't no shadow government in Baltimore. I'll be damn it's not. And you gonna run around call coach and ask coach about a shadow government in D.C. What do you think the Baltimore Development Corporation is, fool? What do you think all of these quasi-public-private corporations that Schaefer set up, that Kurt Schmoke didn't get rid of when he got in, that Sheila Dixon didn't get rid of when she got in there, that Stephanie Rollins hasn't dissolved since she's been in there? A shadow government. Nothing but a shadow government. The white shadow, let me make it clear for some of you 60s and 70s, baby. The white shadow, that's what it is. You try me like you try that mess with Coach, but you can only do that because of Sugar Bear. You try me, talk about ain't no shadow government in this city. When it was built with a shadow government. Ain't no shadow, ain't no white people running this town. The hell is not. Yeah, right. Yeah, they ran so many shadows. You out there in the shadow of Baltimore City now. But let me keep going here. Says, how much is this councilman who represents Bolton Hill, Mount Vernon, in the Inner Harbor, a good swath of South Baltimore worth in terms of campaign dollars? For more than far more than his 13 colleague, it turns out, based on recent election board filings. Cole last year raised $64,000. Man, that gives new meaning to what's the $64,000 question. He raised $64,000 in an off-election year, bringing his cash balance at the start of 2014 to $121,462. And that's after he transferred $6,000 to the political committee of Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown before the start of the General Assembly caused a blackout of contributions to state office holders. Of course, we know that's a whiteout now, so hold on, some of you black nationalists and some of you Moors get a little excited when you hear them talking about a blackout. We know it's a whiteout, but let's keep going here. Meanwhile, go a little deep into the article as we talking about, again, the Cinderella man, as we talking about Vanilla Sky. And I don't have to tell you why it's Vanilla Sky. All you got to do is look in them eyes. They say the eyes are the window to the soul. All you got to do is look in them eyes and you know why he's Vanilla Sky. But let me keep going here. As we talking about William Cole. Goes on to say that in this article here that Mr. Coles, who, let me get it back up, goes on and says that nearly all of Cole's 2013 funds were drawn from a single fundraiser where many movers and shakers, in addition to Beatty, paid tribute in the form of checks written out to friends of William Cole. Goes on and says, well-connected. So let's see how he's well-connected now. So we talking about some of these white lines, but let's keep going. It says, among those contributing to Cole last year was Ed Hale, former president of First Mariner Bancorp, and various entities of South Baltimore apartment builder Cave Valley Partners. Ed Hale gave $500. Let's keep going. It says that Cave Valley Partners gave $1,000. B.A. Maple Lawn, an affiliate of the Bazzuto Group. You know Bazzuto, run all them apartments, mostly downtown and around town. I'll be doing just an expose on them soon and very soon as I talk about Bazzuto. But let's keep going. They gave $1,000. Ballard and Spa, the real estate attorneys, who, of course, I think your mayor's affiliated, associated with them, as well as your state's attorney. Ballard and Spa gave him $500. Arrow Parking, Benjamin Greenwald. You remember when most of them city council persons got in trouble for taking that free parking from Ben Greenwald at Arrow Parking when former U.S. Attorney DiBaggio was going to bring all 19 of them up on charges? You do remember that unless you got amnesia. But let's keep going here. So you got Benjamin Greenwald, who gave $1,000. Developer David Brown Enterprise gave $1,000. Builders Kane Investment and TA Development gave $2,000. Stonewall Capital gave $1,000. And Max Development gave $1,000 to William Cole as well. Let's keep going. Also in the mix were some veteran City Hall hands, including Mayor Stephanie Rollins Blake, former Deputy Mayor Christopher Thomas Colcuddy. Now, where have we heard that name, Christopher Thomas Colcuddy? That was Christopher Thomas Colcuddy, who, of course, was part of the corruption at Baltimore City Public School System headquarters under ugly Bonnie Copeland. You remember her, don't you? You remember Bonnie Copeland and that real ugly one. She put the U in ugly, Carmen Russo. Oh, my goodness. And she used to fly out of town every weekend to see her boyfriend. He must have... No disrespect to the hearing and visually impaired, but he had to be a blind man to be her boyfriend. He had to be a blind man and a lying man to say, "Girl, you look good." Oh, my. Oh, ugly Carmen Russo. But let's keep going here as we're talking about, again, Chris Thomas Colcuddy, who ended up leaving the school headquarters building after they got caught going on a boat trip on a Friday morning, on a day much like today, and they used and dipped into the funds of needy black children in Baltimore City Public Schools. And I'll never, ever forget my brother Bodio, who was on the air and broke the news on the state of the city, and when we was exposing the corruption that was going on, and still goes on in Baltimore City Public School System. But let's keep going. So we got Chris Thomas Colcuddy, who was tied to Rico Singleton and Digicon and the whole issue of, again, the video phone scandal down there in City Hall that your mayor, head of the IT department, just went on leave with pay, Chris Tonjes, because of the actions of Chris Thomas Colcuddy. But yet, you going to tell me ain't no damn corruption in Baltimore City? Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, okay, let's keep going here. So now, goes on to say Chris Thomas Caldcuddy and even the mayor's ex-communication chief, Ryan O'Doherty, who contributed to Cole while he was still in the mayor as the mayor's spokesman. And where did that deputy dog go? Where did that deputy white pit bull go? We're going to have to find out. But again, it goes and says, ever since he ran for council in 2007, with a starting balance of just $3.96, according to his filings, Cole has been a prolific fundraiser. Campaign reports show that while many donations came from his constituents, the bulk of the money flowed from individuals living outside of his district's zip code. Told you he was a white shadow. Given that the 11th district covers downtown and several affluent neighborhoods, thanks to Martin O'Malley, who redistricted so that he could be in the affluent neighborhoods where most of the banks are, where most of your banks are downtown in the 1st district, 2nd district, 3rd district, and the 11th district. But you got a bunch of mental midgets down there in City Hall that don't want to talk about this. But let's keep going here. Now, goes on and says that given that the 11th district covers downtown and several affluent neighborhoods to the north and south, perhaps his success was preordained. No, it was a setup. It was a setup. But other factors have also come into play. His longtime campaign chairman is Paul C. O'Malley. Where have we heard that name before? Now, that's the O'Malley they don't ever want you to see. You talking about strange and deranged. That's the O'Malley they don't ever want you to see. You talking about strange and deranged. You talking about a brokeback. You talking about a gender bender. That's the one they never want you to see or talk to. But let's keep going here because now you know. That's why you got to listen to this show. His longtime campaign chairman is Paul C. O'Malley, the lawyer and brother of Governor Martin O'Malley. His fundraiser is Martin Lauer Associates. Ground Zero, this is considered, this firm, these lobbyists are ground zero for the Democratic Party, money and raising. And he's one of the closest council members to the mayor, which gives him access to developers and lawyers. Now, donors in the news. What's more, as working class South Baltimore evolves into an island of upscale townhouses, restaurants, and bars, Cole has gained supporters through his ties with local power players. Now, that ain't no trick. All this is by design. Let's keep going here before we open up the lines. For example, 2 Cole campaign givers are Peter E. Auchincloss, chairman of the Baltimore Parking Authority, talking about shadow government. Parking Authority. Let's keep going. Waterfront Authority. Downtown Authority. See, those are shadow government agencies that are not elected. That enormous amount of money is sucked out of this city by these parasites. By these 2-legged bed bugs is what I'm talking about. By these jackals, if you want to know where your money's going. But let's keep, and most of them are white, but they got some black ones working for them or twerking for them. But most of them are whites. Whites in shirts and skirts, if I can keep it real. But again, let's keep going here. It says Peter Auchincloss, chairman of the Baltimore Parking Authority, and attorney Joseph Woolman, probably more like Wolfman. Last week, the Brew reported that Auchincloss approached Cole to intervene on a zoning board matter regarding Crossbar, a beer garden proposed in Federal Hill that's represented by Woolman, a beer garden. While they shutting down just black liquor establishments, they ready to get a beer garden over there in Federal Hill. Cole said that he did not talk to David Tanner, the zoning board's director, but only to find out when Tanner's written decision would be issued. Of course he didn't. Auchincloss has given $2,250 to Cole, election board records show, while Woolman and his law firm have chipped in $1,000. In another case, Somerset Development Company of Washington, D.C. gave Cole $500. Let's keep going. At his fundraiser last week, the mayor and the board of estimates approved a pilot, payment in lieu of tax breaks, for a partnership controlled by Somerset to rehab high-rise Memorial Apartments in Cole's Bolton Hill district. Memorial Apartments. Leo Barrows, there goes the neighborhood up down there. Memorial Park, there goes the neighborhood. Keep your eyes open on this. Now, next chapter. What is Councilman planning to do with his stash. Stash. One scenario could be to use it to bankroll a bid for higher office, such as city council president. Jack, watch your back. But we told you this a long time ago. Now, we told you, Jack Young, long time ago, watch your back, because they had the Cinderella man coming for your seat. Cole unsuccessfully sought that post in 2010 when Rawlins Blake stealth helped after she vacated the office to become mayor, following the forced resignation of Sheila Dixon. That wasn't forced. She got tricked out and dicked out like that old dumb ex-senator over there, a friend of hers. But let's keep going. Or perhaps he'll wait for an opportune time to run for mayor himself. So far, he hasn't gotten back to us with a response. So again, this is from the Baltimore Brew. Let me open up the line so we wrap up. Get your thoughts, questions, comments, and you can go online to thebaltimorebrew.com. But as I said before, they just scratching the surface on William Cole, man. You had to listen to the state of the city so we can really connect the dots, reveal the plots, and of course, be able to give it to you, man. Let's put it where the goats can get it. Put it where the sheeps can get it, so you really know the games that they playing downtown in City Hall, and of course the real criminals and shadow government that's running the city. As you hear some fools talking about criminality in D.C. and a shadow government in D.C. Now you better look right here at this little cranny, ground zero, regarding the shadow government in Baltimore City that's been running it for so long, like the Greater Baltimore Committee, set up in 1955. At that Elk Ridge Country Club, 83 white businessmen that set it up so that they could run this city and plan regional politics and politics on the city of Baltimore. And it was a few years ago, I believe, that I think it was called, what was that paper that Red Emma, you could pick it up at Red Emma, the Independent, spelled a little differently than the word independent, wrote the article talking about the shadow government and connecting the dots of some of the shadow governments that run Baltimore, shadow agencies that run Baltimore. We may have to come back and revisit that article for some of you, the one running talking about ain't no shadow government in Baltimore City. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you getting them free Oreo tickets for the shadow government members down there today as we speak. So, but let me open up the lines. Get your thoughts, questions, comments, 410-761-1592. And as I said before, if we lived in a city that was being cleaned up as they just cleaned up that mayor down there in North Carolina and that one up in Trenton, then your mayor be on a straight trail of jail. Your city councilman, as I said before, Cole, who had a 1% stake in the Grand Prix Baltimore Racing Development Corporation, which you're not supposed to have an interest in any contracts when it comes to, again, that heist that they pulled off with the real flash mobs and cash mobs called the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix, which they got off grand free. And as I said before, misappropriating money, embezzling money, talking about malfeasance and misfeasance, money that was taken downtown and used downtown, while you see what your streets look like uptown, don't you? You see what your streets look like uptown. So let me come to the line. Take your thoughts, questions, comments, man. If you've read the article, if you haven't read the article. But we're talking about the 11th District, City Councilman William Cole. And if he's listening, he can call. But gotta let you know, this ain't the Sugar Bear Show. You don't fund me, so you don't run me. You don't excite me. You don't ignite me. Let me make that clear to you. Can't stand you. I respect the seat, but can't stand you. Because I know you're a fake white liberal. And after they closed up Crispus Attucks and these other recreation centers in the district, we confronted you about it. And you didn't do nothing for them. But you run your ass downtown anytime somebody get beat down or slapped down downtown at one of them lily white, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender establishments down there. But when one of our young people gets shot down, or just with Officer Talbot right there in that 11th district where that select club resides, and you hear William Cole say a damn word. Only one came out was Councilman Stokes. That was it. Not a damn word for that officer that was shot 23 times outside a club down there. Let me come to the line. Take your thoughts, questions, comments. I know I'm messing up your opening day, but I really don't give a damn about no opening day. I don't really give a damn about no opening day. You ain't getting nothing out of it anyway but a 2-hour, 3-hour erection. What else you getting out of it? If it lasts longer than 4 hours, they tell you call a doctor. Ain't nothing but a shot of Viagra, Extends, or Cialis for you. What you getting out of it, brother? What you getting out of it, sister? You wear that black and orange on Halloween. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. You're not getting nothing out of it. They don't even want no black vendors down there. They don't even want no black vendors down there. You running around to my opening day. Okay. We come to the line, 410-761-1592. Afternoon caller, you on the state of the city.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Dunn.
Make salam, soldier.
Yeah, it's all a setup, Wayne Cody. That's what they want to do the next, man. It's all designed for him.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's following the same footsteps as Martin O'Malley. And another thing, you said something about, I heard of Peter O'Malley. Wasn't he in charge of some finance down at City Hall?
No, that's Peter O'Malley. This is another one, Paul O'Malley. They might got Peter, Paul, and Mary, brother. We're gonna have to look into that one. That was Peter and Paul.
Look into that.
Yes, sir. So look, sound like City Hall is honeycomb with the O'Malley family down there.
Yeah, it's a game, you know.
Yes, sir.
And you don't wake up, you know, this he's no good. This city council member, he's definitely no good.
Yeah, well, you was down there with us, and we confronted him about them closing wrecks, right?
Yeah, well, you see, he went the other way.
He tried to slide out the back door. Right, he tried to slide out the back door, and we still confronted him, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And we know they closed at least 2 recreation centers in this district, if not more.
Yes, sir. Yep, with the help of some of them blacks down there.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Appreciate you checking in now. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I know some of y'all don't like me talking. I know y'all don't like me talking about them fake white liberals. I know some of you got a candy crush on William Cole, and you don't want me talking about him. You might well bite down. You might well bite down, because I'm promised to turn up the heat on him and the rest of them down there in the seats. So you might as well just bite down like you in a dentist chair, man. You may as well bite down. Because I'm going to continue to talk about him and expose him. But I'll go a little deeper than what the Baltimore Brew may do. Because Mark Reuter, because he under that other fake white liberal, what's her name, Fern Shin, just be scratching the surface, just be snorkeling, just be snorkeling. They give you just enough, but they don't go a little deeper to say this calls for some real investigations, some subpoenas, some indictments, some arrest. I know. You worry about what's going to happen to Ray Rice. You worry about what's going to happen to Ray Rice. So, again, I said this is the Raven free zone, so I won't even get into that because you wouldn't be able to handle it when I finish with that. Let me come back to the lines, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You on the state of the city.
Hello?
How you doing, soldier?
Wonderful.
Good. Thoughts, question, comment?
When you black men going to wake up to listen to the show?
Yes, sir.
And put a spine in your back and do the same thing the white ass be doing to us.
Yes, sir.
Because if we don't, they're going to put you to it. Why are you so fearful of these people? They are only cowards.
Yes, sir.
But when they come in the neighborhood, they're coming in about 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
You get one man.
That's right.
So you know what they do is what they would do if all of us get together, they'd be cowards.
That's sir. Yes, sir.
So wake up, them black men, and do the thing that you're supposed to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, soldier. Always, my elder. With that, we'll take more of your calls, bro. So you got to wake up, man. Got to wake up, got to stand up, got to man up, and don't can up. All right, why I'm talking about canning up, man? Did y'all see this article in the Afro talking about Doc Cheatham? Did you see this article in the Afro talking about Boosie Collins, Doc Cheatham, man? Just wind me up. Talking about somebody taking down his signs, his campaign signs, and he running in the 40th legislative district for delegate, man. I mean, I'm not saying that was my plan, but I understand. I'm not saying that was my plan, but guess what? I clearly understand when it comes to taking down perhaps some of them campaign signs. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and do it, whoever's doing it. And I'm not saying it's my plan, but I understand. Trust me, I understand. But to see him try to blame through innuendo City Clerk Frank Conaway's office or City Clerk Frank Conaway's family by even bringing up former City Councilwoman Belinda Conaway, who's running for Register of Wills. I mean, that was a low blow, man. But again, they say bad publicity is better than no publicity, man. But let's you see how low he go to get on television, see how low he go to get an article in the Afro, and how low he gets go to get some attention, man. Did he not have enough nap time or lap time or rap time when he was a little boy, man? Did he not have enough lap time or rap time? But again, say somebody, again, took down his campaign signs, man. Well, if they take them down, go put them back up. But how low will you go, man, to try to get, as I said before, blame City Clerk Frank Conway's family through innuendo, and then Belinda Conaway said they replaced his signs with Belinda Conaway signs. But again, let's you see how low some people will go, man, to get some attention regarding this matter of campaigns and the campaign season that is now clearly have kicked into full throttle regarding these kind of shenanigans, as some are saying, that are taking place. Somebody took down his campaign signs. Isn't that something, man? But again, let's just see how low they go to get some attention in terms of, again, Bootsy Collins down there, a.k.a. Marvin Doc Cheatham. And I won't come back and talk about how they destroyed the NAACP, even going after some of them lifetime members because they dared to expose how he, along with his good friend Tessa and Joe, had basically, you go past that NAACP office and see if the doors are open during the day, man. See if them doors are open outside them talking about another event, another fundraiser they having. But see if you see them and them doors being open and what's really going on at the NAACP and what went on at the NAACP under Doc Cheatham and, of course, one of his other partners in crime, C.D. Slitherspoon out there. C.D. Slitherspoon out there as well. But again, I'll come back and go a little deeper in that. But that was in the latest Afro. But to hear that foolishness on another show trying to imply that Belinda Conaway and City Clerk Frank Conaway was paying people to take down your signs, man. How low can you go? But then where's the Bootsy Collins? Just wind him up, man. All you got to do is wind him up. That's it, man. Once you wind him up, pull a string. Don't know who he may be working for. We're going to have to look into that one, man. Don't know who he working for to come out with some foolishness like that. So, and if he's listening, he can always call. Let me make it clear to him. Anytime, any place you want to talk about it, we can have a conversation about it, whether it's on the air, off air, regarding, again, the campaign and anybody else. Because I heard some people trying to get in on some other shows. You call this show, see if you can get in on this show. I'll invite you to come sit in the studio with me if you want to come sit in. I will invite you. But again, let me warn you, as the old folks say. All right? You come in one way. You go out, you're going to be totally different when you leave. So we're going to wrap up, get up out of here, make way for the other programs coming behind us this afternoon. And again, shout out to the brothers and sisters with the Tyrone West family, one of the best families in Baltimore to now have them a brand new show 2 days a week over here. Wednesdays at 12 noon and also on Saturdays at 3:30. So we thank them for stepping up and continuing to fight until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream for their loved one, but for your loved ones as well. When will you get up and fight with them, not fight for them, as they continue to fight to make the city do right around those thugs that took out the life of their loved one? So as we're wrapping up, let me thank my sponsors. Got to thank Terra Cafe. They're supposed to be opening tomorrow, so if they're not, I'll find out why they're not open and what's going on in the spot there. But give them a call, 410-777-5277. Let me thank Chandler Photography Plus, exquisite all-inclusive wedding services. Give them a call. Again, from all your services start to finish, 410-668-2512. For that special day, they'll be coming through. You can email them at ulicesee@comcast.net. Let me thank, of course, PM Diversified Tax Services. Give him a call for your tax services, 410-367-5615. He will pick up and deliver. And once, as we're wrapping up, let me thank, of course, Black Man and Women's Country Club. You know them as the barbershops. Got to thank Park Heights Barbershop, the brothers down across from the mall at Flair Hair. And, of course, Brother Johnny at Johnny's G-Styles Barbershop and G-Styles Boutique. We do need your support to continue to come longer and stronger as we close out this month of March. We need your support in April. Otherwise, some of you, we're going to have to shut you off and cut you off and unfriend you on Facebook because you haven't made your word bond. Promise you, as we go forward, we at war. So all forces in the front, everybody got to do something so none of us have to do a lot. So again, make your checks, money orders payable to WFBR. WFBR, send it to 159 8th Avenue, 8TH, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21061. Just put it on the envelope. Attention, Darren Muhammad. So again, make it to WFBR. Send it 159 8th Avenue, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21061, and I'm done. So again, till Thursday, 12 noon. God bless. Let's continue to clean up this mess. As I warn you, I go off every day, stay watchful, stay vigilant. Stay out of them stadiums. Stay out of them stadiums. Stay out of them malls. So until Thursday at 12 noon, peace. Don't forget the hearing tomorrow in Annapolis on House Bill 1301. Again, call 410-841-3000 to speak to Delegate, what's her name again? Don't worry, I'll give it to you. I'll put it up on Facebook, and call Senator Brian Frost, the main one you want to call, fake white liberal from Montgomery County. Brian Frost, 410-841-3000. Tell him to support House Bill 1301 as it comes through the Senate, and Lisa Gladden. So until Thursday at 12 noon, peace.
expressed on the preceding program do not necessarily